So I'm glad to have you on tonight. And tonight we're going to be talking about what are you in search of? What are you in search of? If you are a Mason or a member of the Order of the Eastern Star, and those potential members who are looking to become part of this great organization, such as the Freemasons or the Eastern Stars, regardless of your background. My question to you is, what are you in search of? That is tonight's topic for tonight's show. I want to welcome everybody aboard who's coming aboard. We're going to get right into this because I think this is going to be ask yourself is why, when you're standing up for what is right, why should you lose your life? Hear me clearly. One question is, what are you in search of? As a Mason, as a member of the Order of the Eastern Star, and those potential members who are looking to join. Then the next one after that we're going to talk about is why is standing up for the truth can cause you to lose your life. And we're going to tie that all in and talking about the Freemasons and the Order of the Eastern Star tonight. So I want to welcome everybody aboard on tonight's show. It's going to be very interesting. Yes, for those of you who don't know, I am pro-black. And it doesn't mean that I hate anybody else. I just love my own first, and I'm going to deal with everybody else next because I keep hearing it. Why you always got to bring in African Americans, blah, blah, blah. This is who I am. All right? I love my people. I don't have to always agree with them and get along with everybody, but I love my people. Period, bar none. So I hope that answers your question tonight. To those of you who was very asking a question in regards to, why am I always going one way versus another way? I love my people. And you should love yours too. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Nothing at all. And if you got an issue with loving someone that looks like you, let's say, it would seem to me that you have a problem. But tonight, greetings to everybody who's coming on. We're going to be talking about um, what are you in search of? And then we're going to add to that topic and talk about why is standing up for the truth can cause you to lose your life. And I'm speaking because if you don't already know and you are a potential member for the Order of the Eastern Star or Freemasons, or if you are already a Mason or an Eastern Star, we proclaim that we are in search of that which is lost. We proclaim that we are men and women who are in search of truth and knowledge, wisdom and understanding. We claim these very articulate things. We claim that these are the things that we are in search of. Regardless of our differences across all backgrounds and races, but this is what we claim. We claim these things. We claim to say, hey, you know what? I am in search of truth. I'm in search of righteousness. And this is the claim. Let's just be honest. Our motto is brotherly love, relief, and truth. That's what we claim. That's our motto. But why, when standing up for the truth, can cause you to lose your life? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? So tonight we're going to look at some famous Masons, black Masons in particular. And I say that because when I look at famous black Masons, when I look at famous black people, those who were in leadership, those who stood out front, they were all killed. Just think on that for a minute. Those famous leaders, not long ago, we're talking 60s, 70s, even the 80s. We're talking not long ago leaders who was out front, leading the charge for justice, equality, and liberty for the African American community here in the United States, all lost their life. And then there were some They're sold out. Let's just be honest about that too. So tonight, as a Freemason, we're talking about what are you in search of? And if you are truly in search of that which is righteous, that which is knowledgeable, that which is going to uplift and help a good man become a better man, if you're in truly a search of light, why is standing on the truth or standing up for righteousness can cause you to lose your life? If you want to call in, certainly you can have this conversation with me tonight. And we can, it's a good topic because I have a book tonight I want to show you. This book right here is by G.B. Lynch, Lynch. This right here, I haven't yet. I just received this book on yesterday and I have not put this book down. This sister right here, yeah, this book is about a sister, okay? It says, are we still supposed to be slaves? The chronological of being black in America. The chronicles of being black in America. I haven't put it down yet. If you can, this book here, on tonight's show, are we still supposed to be slaves? The Chronicles of Being Black in America by G.B. Lynch. It was also written by her. It was edited by her. It was covered by her. The whole book is her. Okay, it's by a sister. Definitely you can get this on Amazon. I purchased it. It was Brother Mason turned me on to it. Is his wife, and she wrote this book. And some things that she said in this book really gave me inspiration for tonight's show. And I'm just going to share with you something that I really, really thought of that really kind of gave me something to think about. And it says right here, to my husband for all the support and encouragement that he's given me for the past 32 years of our marriage. I love you like a rib bone. Think on that. Then it says to my daughter for cheering me on and being the unwavering source of pride and joy. I love you like lemon, pepper, flat. Then it says, my family, my ancestors, my ancestors, for the passion and for the sense of obligation that drove me to work on this project for 2 years. I love you more than. This book right here, I'm telling you, it has things in here that I didn't know. I mean, people would say, well, how could you not know that Canada has slaves? Well, yeah, I knew, but I didn't know like this book is breaking it down. No. Because African Americans, when they was trying to escape, they went to Canada. So no, you're not really taught about slavery in Canada, but this sister right here breaks that down. Okay, she breaks it down. So tonight, we're going to talk about what are you in search of? And if truth is what you're in search of, should it cause you to lose your life? So we're going to talk about some famous Black Masons who lost their life fighting for truth, who gave all they had for fighting for truth. If you look at any of the Black Masons a long ago, they stood for something, and you know they did. Okay, we know about the famous Prince Hall Mason and the 14 other brothers who stood with him. We know about them and what they went through to help organize Freemasonry in the United States, and what he fought for in education and how he wrote letters in regards to slavery. We know the work the man put into. We're talking about Prince Hall, the man, not the organization, the man. That man, Prince Hall, had vision, had light, had understanding, had tenacity. That man was a fighter. He fought for his people. And ultimately, people from the stress, the whole, I mean, that takes a lot for a man like that to step out. We don't know all that he went through because there's not really a whole lot written about him other than his stance on education, how he fought, his stance on Black America. You know, there's some things, but there's not a whole lot. But we know just from the tad bit that we have on the man, not the organization, the man and where he stood. And we often talk about him. But let's not forget the other 14 who came along with him. We don't have much about that group. But what we do have is a group of men who understood what Freemason was truly all about. So yeah, they may have gotten it irregularly through baits, that, whatever that may be. Yes, that happened. They may have gotten it irregularly. But look, that's neither here nor there. What we're talking about is his stance, the man himself, those 14 other brothers, and what it took for them to stand on their square, what it took for them to do right in their community, and to show what an upright man looked like. So yeah, they got tired of begging, and they did what they had to do for their own people. See, when you get tired of asking somebody for something, you go do what you have to do for your own people. And that's what they did. So my hat is off to those immortal 15. My hat is off to them. You can say what you want to say, how you may feel, but my hat is off to them. Okay? Now I'm just going to call out a few names. I'm going to call out some brothers' names that stood for righteousness, but was killed because they stood for righteousness. Some of these names may sound familiar to you. Some of them may not. But they was all in search of truth, justice, and liberty, and equality for their people. Some were Masons, some were not. But the idea that they were Masons, they were out front being champions for what they believed in. They believe in helping to make a good man become a better man. They believe in charity, love, and for the fraternal order. They believed in that. So in standing on those moral things that they stood on, cost them their life because they was in search of truth. Are you willing to really die for what you're in search of? Are you ready to lay it down? So, now let's check this out. For those of you who have an opinion that may be a little different than mine, let's look at some of these names that lost their lives for justice, equality for their people. Those who put their lives on the front line. Not who sat behind a desk typing, talking about what they'll do, talking about this. Now I'm talking about people who put their lives on the line. Like George W. Lee, 1955, assassinated. Lamar Smith, 1955, gone, assassinated. Dr. Thomas Burr, 1956, gone, assassinated. Herbert Lee, 1961, gone, assassinated. Medgar Evers, 1963, gone, assassinated. Lewis Allen, 1964, gone, assassinated. James Truney, 1964, gone, assassinated. Malcolm X, 1965, gone, assassinated. Sammy Young Jr., 1966, gone, assassinated. Vernon Durham, 1966, gone. Of course, Martin Luther King Jr., 1968, Fred Hammond, 1969. And I can go on with more through the 70s, through the 80s, all the way up to now, because we're finding that we're still being lynched. Even now, even those who protest Black Lives Matter and put their lives out front by protesting. I ain't talking about Black Lives Matter, the foundation. I'm talking about individuals who really stand and understand that Black lives does matter. I'm talking about those individuals. Not the ones who's going out tearing up things. No, I'm talking about individuals like you and me who really believes and understand that Black lives does matter. Okay? I'm talking about the lady who lost her son. Her son was lynched. And when she got up that morning and went to her yard, she saw him hanging. Okay? They were sending a message to her that, hey, you need to back up. So they still send you messages today. Things have changed, but a lot of things are still the same. We are still being lynched. We're still being hunted. But for some odd reason or another, some of us can't see it that way because we are caught up in the American dream, which is truly a nightmare. It is truly a nightmare for us. And some of us who are waking up and understanding and seeing that we're in a nightmare, you want to go back to sleep, but you can't go back to sleep now. One thing this coronavirus 19 did do, when you was able to go in your house and be locked down and you had books to read and on the internet and you couldn't go out. So when you got shaken a little bit and you woke up a little bit and when you finally was able to come out the house and you saw some things that just wasn't right, then you was kind of woke up a little bit. You ain't fully awake, you just somewhat, you need to get the sleepiness out of your eyes. But we're talking about, what are you in search of? And if standing on the truth is going to cause you to lose your life, then you ain't in search of nothing. You just want to be part of a boys club or a women's club, boys and girls club. To be a Mason, to be an Eastern Star is to be actively involved. Period. It is not cause to be a Mason Eastern Star. It doesn't cause you to be a person who sits back and watch. Because you say that you have light. Light glows unless you put it on the bed. Nobody can see your light if you're hiding it. So to be a Mason and to be an Eastern Star causes you to be actively involved with your community, politically, whatever you want to call it. It calls you to take action. Because you say you're in search of truth. And if you're in search of something, that means you have activity. There's something happening around you. When you walk into a room as a Mason, as an Eastern Star, something is different about you than anybody else. That is my perception because I've been here 32, 33 years. So I've seen brothers who walk into a room as a Mason, them old cats, and people are like, well, damn, who is he? I've seen old cats, we in a spot, sitting down, and there's something about that guy over in that corner. He ain't saying much to nobody, but he's chilling. You look at him a certain way, he's looking at you, it's something about him. And later you find out, oh yeah, he was a Mason. It's something about his do, his dap. It's something about him that separates him. He's not necessarily all up in church. He's not necessarily running all the streets or trying to run women. But it's something about him, his character, his do, his dap. It's something about that sets him apart. So he's in search of light, but he ain't got to be boastful about it because his light glows. Her star glows. Her star shines. She ain't got to be all out showing all of her body. She don't have to do that because she understands motherhood, sisterhood, to be a daughter, to be a wife, to be a widow. She got that thing. So she don't have to show you all the goodies. And the brothers don't have to be out trying to pimp nobody because they understand what it is to be a youth, a manhood. And they understand what it is to be of age because they've mastered something while they're in this process. This is the stage you're in search of something. And along the way, you are mastering things. Okay? You're subduing your passion as you go through this journey. As the sand slips through the hourglass, you're mastering things. Because when the last sand slips through, when the last sand, the grain of sand slips through the hourglass, it's a wrap. When you have traveled your course from east to west, it is a wrap. So along the way, you want to make sure you have footprints in the sand. So when we talk about those who are put out and show what they was all about along the way, then you're amongst those who are really put out. When you're willing to put your life on the line, it says a lot about who you are. And some of us ain't ready for that yet. We talk a good game, but we ain't ready for it yet. See, let me just read some comments before I go on tonight. Greetings, everybody who's coming on. First of all, I want to say thank you. What's up, John? Oh, what's up, Jimmy? Man, look, Jeremy, what's up, man? I hope everything is all well with you. Jimmy Watson, man, you better hurry up. You can't be pushing no cars, man. Greetings, Reginald Humphreys. Greetings, what's up? I appreciate you. William Smith, I'm in search of as a Mason to become a better man in search of wisdom, search of a gathering light. William Smith, since you said that, so what are you going to do when you gather this light? What do you do with it? Do you take your light and put it on the bed, or do you place it on the highest pedestal so everybody can see it? What do you do with that light there, Brother Williams? Good evening to all. I appreciate you tuning in. Greetings, Brother Tony. I have a question for you, but I will ask you on the phone, but to your question at any time, you take a stand for truth, you become the threat, and some have lost their lives. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. So the question remains tonight. If you are in search of truth, are you willing to lay it down? You know the Aramaic legend, right? You know the legend. And a lot of you said, my integrity, my life you can have, my integrity, never. You said that. But did you mean that? Or did you just throw your integrity out the window? Once you have lied and said, my life you can have, my integrity, never. And then after it was all over, said and done, then you back to being who you were, and there's no stance, there's no nothing. You are not in search of anything because you feel good now. You so-called have secrets and grips and signs and words. You feeling all right now. Nope. You have missed that boat. Truly, you've missed that boat. So greetings, everybody, once again, if you're coming on. I have a question, my brother. How do you go about getting, I think that's a petition. It depends on where you at there, William Smith. It depends on what part of the country you're in. And depends on what lodge you want to be part of. What jurisdiction are you looking to be part of? Because I would tell you this, and some people hate that I often say it, but I want to remind you, if you are looking to become a Mason or an Eastern Star, some jurisdictions do not have amenity with other jurisdictions. So don't believe the lie that you can go and visit every lodge or every chapter. Don't believe that lie. When they tell you that you can travel to all these foreign countries and you can do all of these things, that's a bald-faced lie. Because some Grand Lodges don't have amenity with other Grand Lodges. Some Grand Lodges consider other Grand Lodges clandestine, but that's up there. That's on them. But you as a Mason, when you become a Mason, it is up to you, my brother. So when you find that lodge, or sisters, when you find that chapter, you're going to have to make a decision based upon your obligation. And when you meet another brother or a sister, how do you define them to be who they say they are? That's going to be up to you. So tonight's show is about letting your light shine, standing on the truth. If you tell me you're in search of truth, then why do you turn your back on those who look like you? Why do you turn your backs on those who don't look like you and who's in need? Why do you do that? But you're in search of truth. But you call yourself a Mason. And I'm finding as I read this book here, this book right here, man, I'm just saying, this young lady put her foot, her mind, her body, her legs, her arm, her whole being is in this book. Okay? You can find it on Amazon. It is called We Are Still Supposed to Be Slaves. The Chronicles of Being Black in America. It's a heck of a book. It just made me think about those who stood for righteousness and have given their lives. And those Masons who was out front fighting for just cause. Let's just look at some of those Masons who was out front fighting for just cause. Not only Prince Hall and the 14 immortals, those who was there, but let's just take a look at Duke Ellington. You would probably say, how did it Duke Ellington was a Mason and you call and you say he was fighting for justice, well, he opens the door and he performs in the white clubs. Yes, for a minute he goes through the back, but later he opens the door for those who come behind them to go into the front door. See, he had to make that sacrifice. Let's take a look at others. Let's take a look at come on, Connor. Okay, let's take a look at Nat King Cole, W.C. Handy, Desi Gillespie, Count Basie, Leon Hampton, and Paul Robeson. All Masons, all stood for something, didn't mind letting their light shine, standing for something and making a sacrifice so others who came behind them didn't have to make that sacrifice. We got to look at that. Booker T. Washington, Mason. John G. Jones, yes, a Mason. W.E. Boys, a Mason. William Gray, a Mason. Dr. Martin Luther King Sr., yes, his daddy was a Mason. Okay? Medgar Evers, I mentioned him earlier. These Masons that I'm calling out, you may say, well, they're Prince Hall Masons. It doesn't matter. They was black before they was anything else. They were Masons who stood for something, a just cause. I don't believe that they allowed, because of who they were and at that time. I don't think, and there's no way you can convince me that they allowed this thing that we deal with today get in the way of forging and making a sacrifice so I and others like me can walk through the front door and not the back door. I don't believe it. You can't convince me no other way. Yeah, maybe they did have their ups and downs and their moments. Maybe they agreed to disagree. But the fight and the cause was just. So let's look at Alex Haley. Yeah, Alex Haley, Mason. Yeah, Alex Haley, a Mason. All right. Let's look at Thurgood Marshall, Richard Pryor, Ozzie Davis, Sugar Ray Robinson, okay, Nelson Mandela. Just to name a few of those individuals who made the sacrifice to stand on truth, but yet lost their lives in the process. Just to name a few. And some of you may say, well, all of them didn't lose their life. No, but they paid a price. How many of you remember when Richard Pryor had the Richard Pryor show, right? And the last show that Richard Pryor, the last season of the Richard Pryor show, before he went to Africa, all right? Because Richard Pryor always used the word nigga, 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 nigga. He did. He used that, he just used it. But the last season of the Richard Pryor show, he did a skit to where they were supposed to have been in Africa and they found a tomb. They went inside the tomb. And he looked around. He saw all the pictures on the wall of the tomb resembled him. And so as the other two guys was in the temple with him, they was looking around. They was like, wow. So Richard was excited. And he was like, oh, I got to tell the people, oh, look what we found. And as he was beginning to be excited about it, the other two guys behind Richard Pryor, they stepped out of the tomb and locked him in it. They do that to us today. Your history about who you are is buried. It's buried. It is up to us to dig our history up, to know who we are, and to stand on the truth. It is up to us to do that. But when you're a coward, when you're an eavesdropper, when you're doing things underhanded, when you're cutting the next person down because of your jealousies, envies of one another, when you have not yet subdued your passion, when you're not understood what it is to be a sister, a mother, a daughter, or when you have not yet been processed into understanding what you're a part of, you still continue to do those things. That's the truth. So let your light shine. Stand on something. Don't just say you're a Mason, you're an Eastern Star, and you stand on nothing. You're not willing to fight for anything. You got to. I'm just saying. So let me check out some comments. Greetings all. What's up, Charles? And I'm applying it to life already. Good to see you again, Brother Hart. And same to you, Solomon. Appreciate you. Martin Evans, guess that Masons who are supposed to bring light to the path as well take light from it. We are Freemasons, which one with one of the sons of light. Yo, what's up, Travis? Hey, Travis, what's up, my brother? Is that the reason why some Masons stop at the 33rd degree? What do you mean, is that the reason why some Masons stop at the 33rd degree? Solomon Evans, if you don't mind, you can please call in 619-985-1184. Brother Larry Diamonds, if you're still on tonight, you please put that up for me. Brother Eric Collins, if you're on tonight, would you please put my number in the chat for me? I certainly would appreciate it. My father is a Prince Hall Mason and my mother is an Eastern Star. Brother William Smith, your father is a Mason. Your mother is an Eastern Star. Being a member of Prince Hall jurisdiction is where he gets his membership from. Okay? There's no disrespect to what you said, but I'm telling you, your father is a Mason. His jurisdiction is Prince Hall. Your mother is an Eastern Star. Okay? I'm just saying that because as I grow, I want others to grow along with me. I want them to see exactly what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. Because too long we have allowed ourselves to get separated by labels that others put on us when we take on those labels. And I will share this with you. For many of us who have been indoctrinated into America, when I say indoctrinated, I'm talking about being initiated, indoctrinated. We have now become Americanized, okay? For those of you who have become Americanized and initiated into this so-called American dream, you will sell out. You will. You will sell out. Let me show you. See, although Jesse Jackson Mason, the brother stood on something. He stood for righteousness. He really was out front. But as soon as King was down and pushed aside, a few years later, you hear about Push, the Rainbow Coalition, you know, and all of those who was out front. Let's just be honest. Those leaders who were out front during this particular stage, the 70s and the 60s, and even going into the 80s, those leaders who was out front, they were off nice paying jobs. Let's just be honest. That is why the movement slowed down. They were offered nice jobs. So when you offer a man who never had nothing something, some have a price. Some of us got a price. We'll sell our mother, our fathers, and our sisters out. You offer me the right dollar price, some of us will click at a second. Yeah, give me that. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Some of us will just, hey, it ain't me. Better them than me. See, I'm going to tell you a story real quick. See, not long ago, I put rocks in my front yard. And Brother Larry Diamond can vouch for this because he's been to my home. I have rocks in my front yard, right? And I noticed whenever I cut my hedges, I always sweep the hedges, you know, the hedge bushes up. I sweep them up and I clean around. But I'm sweeping rocks as I clean up. And pretty soon I noticed that I was getting less and less rocks in this spot because the more I swept up the hedges that I clipped, I swept up the rocks too. And just so it is with us. See, we'll give our own away and we're the last one standing. And what do you think they're going to do with you? Being the last one standing. There's nobody to defend you. We must take care of our own. We must let our light shine. We cannot take it, put it under the bed, put it hide it from anybody. Let it shine. Masons are about being leaders. Eastern Stars are about being leaders. There are quiet leaders. There are leaders who are out front, rah, rah, rah. There are leaders who just like, yeah, they're making a move. But they're about leadership. They're about working together within their community to help them to rise up. It is not about taking and putting your foot on anybody's neck. Being a Mason, being an Eastern Star is simply saying, hey, look, I have something that will help you to become a better person. And through this initiation rite, we can help you obtain that. Let me tell you this, in case you don't know already. Every group has a way of bringing their kids from teenagers to adults. Every group, and when I say group, I'm speaking of races of people, okay? Different ethnicities of people have a way of bringing their youth through into adulthood. Each one does, okay? Now, the process is, which one do you use? Which one do you use? Because I know my Hispanic brothers and sisters, they have a rite of passage for their youth. I know brothers who are Filipinos, they got a rite of passage for their youth. And some of us use Freemasonry in the youth groups that they have as a rite of passage to adulthood. There's nothing wrong with that. Use it. Our kids need to understand. Our youth need to know that we're there for them. That we're no longer going to sit in the back and allow things to happen and not really stand up for it. It is time for us to work together. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about unity. Okay? Unity. You can have unity and not agree on everything. You can be united and not agree on everything. I'm just saying we need to take Freemasonry and make it work for us. If you're going to stand up for righteousness' sake, if you are in search of truth, if your ideal of being a Mason is helping a good man become a better man, then let us work towards that. It is not my place to cut you down when I see that you're practicing. When I see you are doing the job that it is to be a Mason. It is not my job to cut you down. It is my job to lift you up. As a Mason. Masons are builders. And we said helping a good man to become a better man. Already a good man. Helping a sister to understand what it is to be a wife, a daughter, a mother, a widow. That's your job. So if that's your job, sisters, when do that. If a sister has dreadlocks, let her wear locks. I have a few sisters in my jurisdiction that has locks. Don't look at her and shy her away because she got locks. Teach her what it is. She may be able to give you a better understanding of why she got them locks. Just like a brother who wears dreads. Just because his hair is not cut all neat like yours, doesn't mean you should frown upon him and look at him any way different. We are builders. And sometimes we have to tear things down in order to build it up. You'll catch that on the way home. So tonight's show, we're talking about what are you in search of, and why is it that most people, Masons who have actually stood on truth, have given their life for it. Are you willing to be that person? Are you willing to be that leader who's willing to stand on truth? Because if you're that guy, that woman, you're going to be persecuted. No way, there's no way around it. None whatsoever. Or are you just afraid? Are you just happy to be a member? I would say this. Even my brothers of the Grand Lodges of State, when you look at their membership and those who are a part of their organization, They are about that life. Be it good, bad, or indifferent. They are about that life. And when I say that life, they are about the things of Freemasonry. I ain't saying all of them. I won't do that. But I'm saying the majority that I've come across have been about that life of being a Freemason. I can agree with them politically. I have disagreed with them politically. But they are about that life of helping a good man to become better. They are. They may have said some things I didn't agree with, and I'm letting them know that, but I don't fall out with them because they're about that life. Are you? Are you really in search of truth? Are you really in search of that which is lost? Or are you just glad to be part of the morgue? Are you just happy that you are part of the board? You know, resistance is futile. You know, Star Trek. I'm just saying. Here we are tonight. Welcome aboard. Title does not matter. If you want to call in, certainly you're welcome to do so. When you say that some Masons get some secrets, handshakes, and some signs and lights, then they say they are good to do and search not for farther light. Absolutely. They good. You're absolutely right, Solomon. And even when they become Master Masons, that's it. Some of them you don't even see come to the meeting no more, because they paid their money to become a Mason, and their money got taken, and they felt, well, you know what? I know these things. I'm square. I'm right. I'm good. And they don't understand nothing of. That's just what it is. Yes, Bradford, you are absolutely right. You are increasingly learning that many Masons do not know the mission of the craft. They do not. I'll tell you what. If a Mason can't tell you the mission of the organization for which they are a part of, then you know that brother don't know what he's talking about. I don't care how long he or she has been a Mason or an Eastern Star. If they can't tell you the mission of the fraternal order, I don't know what to say. Brother Charles say, fact, any person write their brother Tony, you know firsthand. Oh yeah, I remember Brother Charles, I remember. But I'm just saying, when standing up for what is right causes you to lose your life, then you know there are some issues. When standing up for that which is right is causing you to lose your life, you know that there are issues. And when you become a Mason, you're telling me you're in search of truth. You're in search of that which is lost. But you are afraid. You're telling me you're a coward and an eavesdropper. That's what you're saying. When you're telling me this as an Eastern Star, you're telling me that you're not willing to allow your star to shine. You're not. What star did you see? Because the one you looking at in the mirror is dim. It's dim. It's dim. So as we venture into tonight's show and talk about standing and searching for that which is lost and standing on righteousness, and are you willing to pay that sacrifice for it, like so many of us have claimed that we were willing to do? Is that truly in your heart, or did you just say that because you felt you can just get in? Are you willing to make that sacrifice? Are you willing to say, like Fred Hampton, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to stand like Martin? Are you willing to act like Malcolm X? Are you willing to be a soldier like Medgar Evers? You know, are you willing to be like Martin Luther King Sr., who said that I would never shake a man's hand because shaking your hand means nothing to me? He said that. You know, don't just claim it. Do some research. Look at these individuals who laid down their lives so that I may have a better life. Those black Masons who were gone before and laid their foundation down. Those members of Order of the Eastern Star who did that. There are a lot of female entertainers who are members of the Order of the Eastern Star, but you'll never know it. A lot of them, a lot of famous ones. You know, one of the most famous ones to me is Maya Angelou, even though she's gone. You know, look at the life she led before she became an Eastern Star. Oh man, Maya Angelou was nothing to play with. Oh, a lot of us got to know her through her poetry and through her books. But before she got there, look at the life before she got there. I'm just saying, the search for truth can take you places everybody may not be ready. Absolutely. Because once you get there and you are awakening or awake by the truth that you have found, it's going to be tough for some of you to go back to sleep. That's true. When you find truth in your life, it's tough, man, to close your eyes and go back to sleep. It really is. But hey, if you like being asleep, close your eyes, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Close them. When it comes down to it, if you down and in need, I bet you grip that brother or sister like you know them for years. Absolutely. That's just the truth. You do that when you find yourself down and out. See, it is said that the best thing that can happen to some people is to fall down because you're looking up. The best thing that can happen to some people is to fall down because you have to look up. I'm just saying, something you need to think about, something you can take home. So, once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight as we talk about what are you in search of. And if standing on the truth can cause you to lose your life, are you willing to do that? You know? Or should it cause you to lose your life? Should standing on the truth cause you to lose your life? If you are a master mason, you already know what I'm talking about. You already know. What are you in search of? I'm going to tell you the truth. And if standing on the truth is right, why should it cause you to lose your life? If you have been raised, you already know where I'm going with that. Why should it? But it does. Those who have been in the front line of anything, you know what it is when those you are leading turn their back on you. You know what it is. If you have ever been the leader, the wishful master, worthy matron in your chapter, in your lodges, you've been a grand master, you know what it is to lead, and then you're leading. And then when you look back, those you were leading has turned their backs. It feels cold, doesn't it? I'm just saying. Everybody's not going to see your vision or understand why you're doing the things you do. You know, they're not going to get it. They're just like when you're driving behind a car and you want to pass this car so bad you want to pull out and go past that car, but that car in front of you sees a truck down the road. You can't see it. That's what leadership is all about. True leadership. And then once the truck has passed, the person in front of you can give you the sign to come on, go past them. That's what past masters should do. They should give you the okay. It's cool, brother. You can take this over. I'm okay. I've done the best I can do. I've taken the lodge as far as I can take it. As a worthy matron, I've taken the chapter as far as I can take it. I've taken the grand lodge as far as I can take it. Who's up next? You can take it farther. Maybe there were some things I didn't do that you see and you can make it happen. Do it. Let's work together to build a better organization. Let's show people what Masons and Eastern Stars are really all about. By being part, by being in, by being just all hands on deck. Standing on the truth. If that's what you're in search of, stand on it. Don't back down. Pick your fights wisely. Pick them wisely. I'm just reading through the comments right now. Hope everybody is doing well. I know it's kind of late on the East Coast. For those of you who are joining us on the West Coast, thank you. Hawking. History has shown great men are just ordinary men, thus thrust them to unordinary circumstances. That's true. But they become great men, don't they? Hey, they do, don't they? Ordinary men become great men because they're willing to stand on the truth. They're not willing to back down. That ordinary man is not ordinary. He's not willing to back down. He's willing to make the sacrifice so I can walk through the front door. He's willing to make the sacrifice so I don't sit in the back of the bus. Willing to make the sacrifice now. They have a bank. I can put my money in their bank now. I can go buy clothing that is made by us now. Those are sacrifices. Somebody has to make the sacrifice so those that are coming behind them don't make the same sacrifices. What has happened to us? What has happened to us? They have shown us. If you stand out front, this can happen to you. So you don't have any more Martins and Luthers and Malcolms, and you don't have any more Medgar Evers and what's this? James Truney and Lewis Allen and Herbert Lee. You don't have any more of them coming down the pike. Now, I'm not saying we don't have any leaders. You just don't have none like them. Ordinary man, right? Something extraordinary about them, though. Greetings, everybody who's coming on. I appreciate it. The mission is to start on the truth, to stand on the truth no matter what, and to become a better person in life. Absolutely. Anthony Maddox, what's going on, brother? I enjoyed you in Atlanta. Anthony Maddox spotted me in Atlanta coming through the airport. Hey, bruh, the sister was great. She really helped me out. Thank you for doing what you did while I was there. I appreciate you. Greetings is found in the actions of a person. The greatness has to be practiced. It comes from habit. I likes that. I likes that. The wife said, tell Brother Tony, good night. It's time for us to go to bed. All right, dear. Good night to you. And I'm also going to be saying good night. I hope you got something out of this. This is a great book to have in your library. It is a good read. It was hard for me to put down. This book is called We Are Still Supposed to Be Slaves. The Chronicles of Being Black in America. It's a good read, an easy read, and hard to put down. I'm going to finish this off tonight. And it just gave me inspiration to do the nice show, because we as Masons and Eastern Stars often say we're in search of truth. That which is lost. Is that which is lost going to cost me to lose my life? Is it worth it? Is life worth standing on the truth? Is it? I want to say thank you for tuning in, and those who will probably be watching this at a later date. May God bless you and keep you as He's kept me. Peace. And to all the brothers and sisters of the craft, whatever you do, wherever you go, always keep your light on, stay out the bushes, and remember this: the higher you climb, the clearer the view. I'm out. Peace and be.